I am very pleased to introduce Ursula Buchan's My Favourite Artefacts in the John Buchan Story. Ursula is a granddaughter of John Buchan and is renowned for her biography of John Buchan, Beyond the 39 Steps. Interestingly, on the cover of the paperback edition is an extract from the Sunday Times review. What caught my attention was, and takes you, as novels do, into other people's lives, which is what Ursula's narrative does for us now.
This is a photograph in the museum of John Buchan's younger brother, William, or Willie, who lived from 1880 to 1912. Here he is in the dress uniform of the Indian Civil Service. Although 5 years younger than JB, they were very close childhood companions, and Willie followed his brother to Brasenose College, Oxford, on a scholarship. While there, he passed the Indian Civil Service exams, and he travelled to Bengal in 1903. He proved himself to be a very able, well-liked, and extremely hard-working colonial administrator. He came home on leave in the summer of 1912, ill with an unknown infection, and died a few months later. JB's most famous and most anthologized poem, Fratri Delectissimo, or Most Beloved Brother, was written about him. In February 1917, John Buchan, then a second lieutenant in the Intelligence Corps working at GHQ in France, was brought home by the Prime Minister, David Lloyd George, to fill the new post of Director of Information, answering only to the War Cabinet. His job was propaganda, telling the story of Britain's war effort to Allied and neutral countries. He was promoted to Lieutenant Colonel, in which uniform we can see him in this photograph. It was a very demanding job, particularly as he had to deal not only with staffing a large department from scratch and giving it proper direction, but also with the slipperiness of politicians. To add to his difficulties, his brother Alistair was killed at Arras in April. He distracted himself in the few leisure hours he had with writing the third of the Hannay novels, Mr. Standfast. This is the first page of the first edition of The 39 Steps, published by William Blackwood and Sons of Edinburgh in October 1915, and it must contain some of the most famous opening sentences of any British thriller, or shocker, as John Buchan called it. The book was an immediate commercial and critical success, selling 25,000 copies in hardback in the first 6 weeks. And it's not difficult to see why, for the reader is immediately plunged into the narrator's disenchanted life. Something is going to happen soon to change his mind, one feels. This still photograph from the first film of the 39 Steps, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, is of Robert Donat and Peggy Ashcroft. Robert Donat is Richard Hannay, the hero, who's helped by Peggy Ashcroft, the wife of a miserably mean crofter. She became a family friend. The main romantic lead was Madeleine Carroll, despite there being no women to speak of in the original book, but Hitchcock knew that the film needed a beautiful woman, and he was right. John Buchan approved, telling the head of Gaumont British Pictures that he thought the film was much better than the book. Here is a famous image of John Buchan and Alfred Hitchcock at the time when the film was first shown to the public in the summer of 1935. Whoever took the picture had a sense of humour, for it is lit so that the shadow of Hitchcock looms up over John Buchan. Alfred Hitchcock got the rights to film the 39 Steps for only £800, but he never filmed another of the books, because JB was made Governor-General of Canada that year, and as the King's representative, was no longer allowed to negotiate film deals. This is a picture in the museum of the gravestone in Elsfield Churchyard in Oxfordshire, where the ashes of both John Buchan by then Lord Tweedsmuir, and his wife Susie are buried. It was designed by Sir Herbert Baker, the famous architect. The words on the top, if translated from the Greek, read, "Christ will prevail." The Latin words, which run round the rim of the stone, if translated, read, "Here in his own soil lies a man who cultivated the muses, served his country, and was loved by countless friends."
Thank you, Ursula. Your enthusiasm certainly shines through your story. Of course, these and other artifacts are on view in the museum, so please come along and see for yourself. Thank you.